It's great to be back. As Andy said, Globalizing Finance, DeFi for the rest of the world, is this panel. It's early here on the East Coast, incredibly early on the West Coast, but a much more reasonable hour in Europe and Asia, which speaks to the nature of our panel itself, where we're going to talk about how we're bringing people into the system, how this is truly global and how it is more inclusive. So everyone, I was hoping we could just go around very quickly, just give us your name and your company, and if you would, the country that you're from. Hal, let's start with you.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's my great pleasure to be here. I'm from SNZ and I'm managing SNZ Pool. And personally, I'm based here in Shanghai or China.
Shanghai. Victor.
Oh, guys, I'm Victor from Xiamen. It's a Chinese city, Xiamen. So see you.
Welcome. Diane.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Diane Dai, the co-founder of Dodo. Yeah, you can call me Dai Dai. Yeah, and I personally based in Beijing. Yeah, but my team members are just globally in different countries like Singapore, Canada, Australia. Yeah.
Marvelous. Doyan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Do-hyun from Bifrost and Bi-Fi. I'm CEO and co-founder. I'm based in Seoul, Korea. Nice to meet you.
Seoul, Korea. Excellent.
Yeah.
So everyone, maybe if we could just give a bit of an overview. One of the challenges with a panel like this, we have a short period of time and a lot of guests with a lot of information, is to get the 50,000 foot overview of what you guys do. So if we could go around again in the same order, and you could very briefly tell us about your project and why you think it's significant. Hal, let's start with you once again.
Yeah. Well, actually, SNZ, we have a couple of different activities or business. Firstly, we've been in the investment activities for a couple of years in this blockchain industry. And then we've been working as a consultant as well for a lot of our partners. And then we have the mining pool as well, business, which I'm personally managing. And then with the Chainlink, actually, we've been working with the Chainlink as a strategic partner here in China for roughly 2 years. So it's my great pleasure to be here at the panel of Chainlink Summit for the first time, for the second. Yeah.
Thank you. Victor, tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay. Our project is VPG. I think most of people know that VPG is an open source non-custodial lending protocol. So users can deposit their money in our market and borrow others to pay, just paying some kind of interest. So we have launched on Ethereum network since this year, and January 18th. And we now have has been deployed on Ethereum, OKX, Chainbit, Binance, SmartCon, Polygon, and Heckle. So around the TVL around 80 to 100 million. We also enable our lending protocol. The liquidity mining program for a long time. So you guys can also join in to have fun. Okay.
Great. Diane, tell us a little bit about your project and why it's significant.
Sure. So Dodo is a decentralized trading protocol built on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and soon on Arbitrum, these different blockchains. And Dodo is ranked top 10 and sometimes top 5 on each main chain by trading volume or by transactions or by trading address. Yeah. So on Dodo, you can trade any crypto tokens at the best trading price. And if you are a liquidity creator, you can use various tools to create a token, to create a liquidity pool, and can start your own like liquidity mining, give your own token rewards to your liquidity pools. Yeah, so I think DEX is one of the most important infrastructure in crypto space. Yeah, so I'm happy with a good career here. Yeah.
Yeah, Doyan.
Okay, well, actually, I have two to explain, Bifrost and BiFi. To put it briefly, Bifrost is a multi-chain middleware platform that connects multiple protocols for dApps. And BiFi is the first DeFi solution based on Bifrost technology. Using the power of Bifrost multi-chain technology, BiFi does not only connect Ethereum and BSC as it is right now, but also connects Polkadot, Clayton, and ultimately Bitcoin without wrapping or bridging. So our goal is connect the entire fragmented DeFi ecosystem. And I hope that I can tell you more on this session.
Yeah. So one of the first questions that I have for people in this space, whether it's during a panel or whether I meet them socially, is why did you guys get into this space? So in other words, people who are doing things in the DeFi space have tremendously sophisticated backgrounds in technology, in finance. They have a tremendous number of other opportunities. There are a lot of other things everyone on this panel could have done professionally with their lives other than participate in DeFi. What was it that drew you in? What was the powerful pull that got you guys working, 40, 60, 80, 100 hours a week doing just this? And jump in, please, anyone.
Oh, I can start first.
Please.
Yeah, all right. I have experience in the financial sector for 10 years as a derivative trader and derivative quant. Well, yeah. Actually, I got a PhD in financial engineering from the University of Michigan in the United States. Mm-hmm. Well, after working like several years, like decades of years in the financial sector, I realized that finance cannot really help people, really cannot help all the people in the world. As you know, we have like more than like thousands of years of financial history, but still we have more than 20% of all the people who cannot use real financial services nowadays. And I realized that DeFi can really help this kind of problem to solve. And that's why I jump into the DeFi world, and I'm trying to, make a real change for the financial industry.
Yeah,
that's very fancy for me.
Very well said, and a great point. I believe right now, depending on the statistics you look at, there are between 1.5 and 2 billion people in the world who are unbanked. That's a pretty staggering number. I'm curious what you guys think. Did anyone else get into this space for similar reasons, or do you have different reasons why you got into DeFi? How about you, Diane? What are your thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I think I have a different story compared to Dangyun. Yeah, so, I was born in 1997. Yeah, so I think the youngest one in this panel. And for our generation, I really think crypto is the best job, for our generation could ever get. Is, your time is pretty free. You can manage your own time, yeah, right? And most of the teams are just, working remotely from home. Yeah, and actually, you are joining a movement that kind of rebuilding the whole financial system. Yeah, so I think for people like me, personally, before I graduated from college, I took an internship at a blockchain company, and that is a decentralized exchange. Yeah, so one of the first exchange I have ever used is not Robinhood, yeah, and it's not Coinbase, not even Binance. It's a decentralized exchange that's running on blockchains. Yeah, so and that was in 2017. Yeah, and by then, I'm just totally attracted by this kind of technology because it's totally free and equal to everyone, no matter where you work and no matter where you live. Yeah, so I think it's kind of the freedom spirit attracts me to just totally enter this industry. Yeah, so last year when my last company kind of didn't do anything more about DeFi, but I and my ex-colleagues just decided we still, are very into DeFi and we want to have the whole of our career here. So we founded our own DEX. Yeah.
Diane raises some very interesting and important points. First, this idea of generational shift. I think I was actually working in a bank in 1997, Diane, which is depressing to think about. But I'm curious, when you're talking about another point that Diane brought up that I think is so important, is the inclusivity and access to this. We all know that there are barriers. We mentioned the statistic before, 1.5 to 2 billion people in the world who are unbanked. I think it's 1.7 billion if you look at the World Bank statistics. These are huge numbers of people. And the promise, of course, of DeFi is that we can have a system that's more inclusive, that brings more people in, and that empowers more individuals. I'm curious if that speaks to anyone else on the panel. Perhaps Victor, how do you guys think about how this system is empowering individuals around the world?
Yeah, I can share you my idea about that. DeFi actually, we think that it's going to be change the world, the financial world, because with the current financial system, there are a lot of problems. I used to live in Europe, and I still remember that how difficult that time for me to send my own money from Europe to China. It takes a lot of time, and it costs a lot, and it's not transparent at all. And with the DeFi, and we are amazed by that because it's building on the code, it's building on the technology, and it's trustless. That's why we could have, get rid of the middleman, and we could have the low-cost service for ordinary people to get access to this new financial solution, new financial world. And besides, another thing which is quite interesting or amazing is that with internet we could have the information, global information world. I mean that there's no border, there's no country for information to move from one place to another place. But it doesn't work for the asset, for our asset. But with DeFi, which is called, the topic is global finance. It means that we are not only physically based in different places of the world, but we could move our asset from one place to whatever on the blockchain network. There is no physical border for our asset. And it's part of the global finance, and which is amazing for me as well.
Yeah, so globalization and transparency, always very important issues in this space. Victor, what are your thoughts? Anything you'd like to add? I don't know if Victor can hear us. Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. So I just noticed we should tell this story by our background. So before the DeFi, I worked for the I invest a lot and for the for stock market or something, and also after that I worked with the CeFi works and also some self software. So but I just come to I think DeFi is just a young thing. So we participate in DeFi last DeFi summer. So it's just we just know that not quite a long time. So but by my opinion, it gave us a totally transparent space to the finance. Before the market is controlled by a lot of companies, so that we can protect our money. I think from the shrinking of the currency depreciation or something. So that is important for us. So I guess I think so.
Yeah, I think a lot of people around the world and even here in the United States agree with that sentiment and find real resonance there. Since we've set up a little bit of the framework here, gotten a little bit of a sense of where everyone on this panel is coming from in terms of why you got into the space, why it was important to you, I'm curious if perhaps we could flip the lens around a little bit and talk a little bit about your views of the future. First, what does everyone here think are the most important ideas for bringing new people into this space? You know, this panel is about inclusion, diversity, and globalization. In order to reach scale in this space, what do you guys think needs to happen in DeFi as this ecosystem continues to mature? Go ahead, Diane.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start very briefly. The most important thing, I think, is the DeFi system should be easy to use and easy to access. You know, right now, DeFi system, there are only few people, comparing to all the population of the world, very few people use DeFi system because the wall is too high. It's really hard to use and hard to access. So if you put that on the subject, it should be very easy to use and easy to access. That's the first thing that we should be aware of, I think.
Oh, well, I would say as a lending protocol, I would say you must show the new guys the higher APY for stablecoins than banks, Alipay, and WeChat or something else. So just like our slogan, in Piggy, we get rich. If most of people get in this area, even me, from any money here. So after that, we'll start thinking about the future step by step. And I'm very fortunate. So I joined in this part, join DeFi. So I get a lot of money here. But that if to new users and normal users, it's same. We must get them profits. That is very important, no matter the Western or Eastern, same, I think. So especially we have seen many new things here, like NFT or something recently, but that's the same reason users why they choose to join the NFT or anything. They just because they can earn little money or something like that.
Well, I agree with Victor. East or West, everyone wants yield. And I also think Doyen makes an important point. My mother is not currently participating in the DeFi space. I feel like a lot of folks out there, parents, are probably not participating in the DeFi space. As Diane pointed out, I think there is this intergenerational issue that we're thinking about right now. And for things to become truly broad-based, truly accessible to the masses, those are problems that are going to need to be solved, challenges that are going to need to be worked out. Diane, I'm curious, your perspective on this is very much, as you say, being born in 1997 from a different generation. What do you see as the challenges that need to be solved, or the flip side of the equation, maybe spoken in a more positive way? What are the things people need to do to get a more global and inclusive vision of people in the DeFi space?
Sure. First of all, I agree with Victor that we, the builders, should make some features that could potentially help people, to make some money, right? Just like in the last DeFi summer. Before that, people just can, hold token and do nothing. But now they can stake their tokens and do the yield farming, right? Yeah, and on the, observing to my, some classmates, because some of my classmates and friends, they're still in study or just enter a new work, and I found that some of them enter, DeFi because of two things. One thing is, like I said, they can buy some stable coin and stake and yield farming. And the second thing is about the animal tokens. Yeah, so they just, ape into a lot of animal tokens and imagine they can get real rich. Yeah, but
Yeah.
So I think the whole point is when you design a new product, you have to keep that in mind. Your mechanism should, have some financial effect. Yeah.
Right.
So for people to easily to access and can potentially make money. So they will.
Right.
Yeah, they will, start to learn how to use this different crypto wallets.
Yeah. Great points. How I know this is going to be hard for you because we've probably covered a great deal, but if you could, maybe in just the next 30 seconds or so, because we've got to move on. We've got one final question, but any quick thoughts that you have about making the space more inclusive and pulling more people in?
Yeah, I try to add on something different. Actually, I totally agree with the other points mentioned by other guests. And I think there is one thing which is kind of necessary or even mandatory for way to see DeFi go to mass adoption is the regulation. And firstly, if we want to play the DeFi game or yield farming, we need to have the asset, crypto asset. And without regulation, I think it's very difficult for mass, for ordinary people to get access to the crypto world. And once they have their crypto asset, and then they can think about DeFi or yield farming. And if there is a way, a regulated way for them to play the DeFi, and then that's perfect. And then that will be the moment when they imagine the mass adoption of DeFi.
Yeah, great points. So we've only got about 3 minutes left here. I know it's shocking. We blew through this 25 minutes in this session incredibly quickly. It went by in the blink of an eye. But the final question I wanted to ask everyone is this is coming to us from the sponsors of this conference. Chainlink is interested to know what role Chainlink specifically plays in your underlying architecture and the importance of Chainlink products and services in your smart contracts or protocols. Perhaps we could go in the order we reverse order. So maybe it would be Victor first. What role does Chainlink play in what you do?
Well, Chainlink, I can tell the long story in short. So it's firstly is for the Oracle Networks and the price feed. The lending protocol is for the price feed is very important. Many lending protocols get problems, even compound. They made accidents. So just because they don't use Chainlink, and now they start to learn for this, and they will choose the Chainlink for the price feed. That's very important for the safety of the lending protocol or other protocols, and for also because we have deployed on many chains. So maybe we will deploy on 10 public chains, and that Chainlink can give us all of them. Yeah, so that is very important. And others like keepers, we will also.
Victor, unfortunately, we've got to move on because we've only got about 30 seconds for this question per guest. I'm going to throw over to Diane really quick, if you could, in 30 seconds. What role does Chainlink play in your protocol or architecture?
Sure. So the Dodo Exchange is built on a PMM algorithm, proactive market making algorithm, and this algorithm is to gather liquidity around some price guide. And for the price guide, we use Chainlink Oracle for some of our liquidity pools. The mainstream trading pairs like WBTC, Ethereum, and stablecoins. Yeah.
Right. So the Oracle function. I guys apologize for the short time because we only have a few moments left. Diane, really quickly, what role does Chainlink play in your protocol?
Yeah, of course. Chainlink Price Oracle is very reliable and more secure, I think. So we are very lucky to have Chainlink Price Oracle, especially when there are numerous hacks on DeFi products. So that's it.
Diane, a perfect and short answer. Finally, we're going to get this done on time. To you, final question, important significance of Chainlink in your protocol.
Yeah, actually, we don't have our own protocol projects, but actually we've been working with Chainlink from the first beginning of the mainnet launch as a node operator. And we've been working together with Chainlink to provide the infrastructure, a stable and secure price-feeding infrastructure for all other protocols. And then looking forward to the Chainlink 2.0, and we're going to provide all the data feeding, not only the price feeding, but the data feeding to all other protocols. Yeah.
Another perfect short answer: security and stability seems to be the common theme there. Thank you, everyone on this panel. It's been a great conversation. And thank you to everyone watching at home.
Thank you to our panelists. It's great to hear from around the world, different DeFi protocols and projects, the differences, and many more of the similarities that we actually have together. So thank you all for being here.